What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Colby, also known as Patriots Global, back here with another draft prospect breakdown video for our New England Patriots. Now, they're making a lot of selections here today. I'm a little bit behind on the work, but we're playing catch up because we are talking about what they did here on day 3, starting off here in the 4th round with them taking at the top of the 4th round, safety Craig Woodson. Now, a lot of people are going to say, Patriots Global, why don't you just do a live stream that breaks down every single player? And the reason that we're not breaking down every single player in one live stream, the reason that we're breaking down each player in their own specific live stream is really just for organization purposes. So if you guys want to know about one specific player, my reaction, who is he? What does he bring? You can easily come back to a one specific video and hear my thoughts and analysis on that player, rather than having to sit through an hour and a half live stream and figure out where that specific player is. On top of that, I'm also adding all the videos I make to a complete playlist, a Patriots 2025 draft class playlist in order from their selections. All my video analysis on every single player in this class will be in that playlist. It's currently up on the channel, but I'll also make sure to have that linked in the comment section below, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat who's coming in here, rocking with me. Whether you're on Twitter, whether you're on YouTube, we are going to be here all day breaking down every selection that the New England Patriots have made. So let's just get into it here with Craig Woodson. Now, a little bit about Craig Woodson. 7 interceptions and 14 pass breakups during the 2024 season, a 91.2 PFF coverage grade, and he was top 3 among 2025 safety prospects. He's 6'1", 205 pounds with sideline to sideline speed. Now, the big thing about this is I've seen a lot of people be a little bit down on this selection, and the reason that for me, and by the way, I'm not doing my grades just yet. I'm either going to be doing my grades tomorrow or probably Monday. So one of those days I'll be breaking down the draft class and you guys can hear a little bit more about my grades and final thoughts on the draft class. But the reason, a little bit of a spoiler alert, the reason that is going to be a little bit lower for me, the grade on Woodson is going to be a little bit lower for me, is just because I thought that there were some better players on the board. I mean, like you had Jack Sawyer still on the board. There were just a couple of different routes that I personally would have went with, but I do not agree with people saying that this is a stretch of a pick, right? Now, everybody's different. Everybody has their own big board. Everybody's going to have players listed in different projected rounds. I know there were some people, some analysts that had Craig Woodson as more of a projected 6th round draft pick. Obviously, Patriots taking him here in the 4th. NFL Network had him projected as a 5th. So even in that measure, maybe a little bit of a push, but not by much. Then you have Bleacher Report, who had him projected as a 4th round pick, and that's exactly where the Patriots are taking him. So it really just depends who you ask, but this still kind of fits under the mantra that the Patriots have bought into during this entire draft process, and that is they are going to go best player available for the need of the team. Look, was Craig Woodson on my list for Patriots projected safeties? I'm going to be honest with you. No, I didn't have him on my big board. I didn't know too much about him until the selection was made and I started to do my research. Andrew Makuba, for me, was a major target. And why was Andrew Makuba such a big target? A guy who went in the 2nd round to the Philadelphia Eagles? It was because I believe the Patriots need a free safety. I'm sick of the Patriots constantly drafting box safeties, the same architecture of safety, right? You have Kyle Duggar, you have Jabrill Peppers, you have Marte Mapu. All of those guys, for the most part, are very similar safeties. They're guys who are very athletic, right? They're really good at stopping the run. They're very aggressive. And because of that, they play closer to the line of scrimmage. They play in the box. They play hybrid linebacker, None of those guys are free safeties. With Craig Woodson, they switched up the tempo a little bit. And that's also why I like this pick. Because Craig Woodson is a true free safety. And we can get into some of his numbers here. But Craig Woodson played 335 snaps at free safety during 2024. He played 523 snaps at free safety in 2023 and 414 snaps at free safety in 2022. Now, he's very versatile. That's the cool thing about him, is that they'll be able to play him as a Swiss Army knife. I think he's mainly going to come in and be that free safety. He's going to come in and compete with, Jalen Hawkins and Marcus Epps to be that starting free safety, but he can play everywhere. He's a guy who's played in the slot. He's a guy that's played some corner. He played 266 snaps this past season in the box. So if they want to play him closer to the line, depending on what the matchup is any given week, depending on what potential injuries are, Craig Woodson is a guy that's able to do that. Like I mentioned earlier, also has that sideline to sideline speed. So although he's someone who's mainly going to play deep for you in the secondary, he's not going to be slow. He's not going to be sluggish. He has really good closing speed, which he has that God-given talent. Like, closing speed isn't something that, you can ultimately teach up. Look, either you're fast or you're not. You have that closing speed or you don't. The biggest part to Craig's game is that he needs to be better in awareness. He needs to be better with tracking the ball. And that is something that is coachable. But he has the physical intangibles that, like I said, you just can't teach. And I think that's the important part to him. To continue talking about this, one of my favorite things about Craig Woodson is the fact that he's gotten better every single year. When we were breaking down Andrew Mukuba as a potential draft, player for the Patriots, as a target for them in this draft, I said that one of my favorite things about Andrew Mukuba was that he got better every single year at the collegiate level. Guys, I've said it so many times during the pre-draft process. The Patriots targeting guys who are on an upward trajectory transitioning to the NFL, guys who got better every single year, guys who didn't go stagnant, they didn't get worse, but they took the coaching and they were motivated to get better every single year. I think that those are players that have the best opportunity at being true hits coming out of the draft. And Craig Woodson is exactly that. A 66.2 overall grade in 2022, 73.8 overall in 2023. And like I said before, an 88.5 overall grade this past season. A very short tackler also, only an 8.6% missed tackle rate. That was the downside with someone like Andrew Mukuba, is that although he had an elite season this past year at Texas, he was really good at stopping the run. He was someone whose missed tackle numbers were going up every single year. Andrew Mukuba had about a 14.5% missed tackle rate. You're getting a guy with Craig Woodson who is a much, much better tackler. And the great part too is that, he's a well-rounded guy. He's not just good in coverage, but he's also very good at stopping the run. He had an 85.6 overall run defensive grade this past season. And the reason that is so damn important in your free safeties is because those guys are going to be your last line of defense. How many times over the last couple of years, ever since Devin McCourty retired, have we seen blown coverages? How many times have we seen, DK Metcalf going off for like a 60-yard touchdown? How many times have we seen running backs going off for 45, 50-yard touchdowns? Because that free safety has been mediocre for the last few years since Devin McCourty retired. So that last line of defense, that guy who is supposed to come up and make that tackle in coverage, that guy who's supposed to come up and make that tackle on the ball carrier to prevent him from going for a long touchdown, the Patriots haven't had that guy. Now with Craig Woodson, I think they have a guy who very well can do that. He also was tied for 12th in the nation this past season in forced incompletions with 8 of them. So not a guy that I'm here telling you that, hey, he's 100% locked in day one to be your starting free safety. He's going to have to compete with some veterans. And he's a 4th-round draft pick. And the way that I see the draft is that from rounds 1 to 3, those are guys that you feel pretty damn confident that they're going to come in day one, be impactful starter players for you in some capacity. Once that 4th round starts, you're really just taking shots on players, guys that you think maybe are diamonds in the rough, but you feel good about their potential. They're not necessarily guaranteed a spot on the team. They're not really guaranteed anything. But again, you think that they have enough intangibles for them to ultimately be drafted. I think there's a good chance, as long as Craig Woodson comes in, he improves on that awareness, he improves on his closing speed. The competition level is not hard to beat. I mean, Marcus Epps is very, very average. The only good thing about Marcus Epps is that he is a captain, right? He's a veteran. Like, he's going to be really, really good for the leadership, really good for the locker room. But, he's someone who's not guaranteed a roster spot. It's also the first year in the system for him. He was with Vegas last year. And then you have Jalen Hawkins, a guy who was in the system this past year, but only got limited amount of playing time. He had some good moments, but he was wildly inconsistent. He was okay, to be completely honest with you. I think the battle is really more so between Marcus Epps and Craig Woodson up until this point. But nonetheless, are there better players that they could have went with here? Yes. but this does fill another major need for the Patriots at free safety. This is what PFF had to say about Craig Woodson. They said, and I quote, Woodson's speed and aggression are his calling cards. As he chases ball carriers down near the line of scrimmage, he set his career high with an 88.6 coverage grade and 6 pass breakups in 2024. He's tough to trust in man-to-man situations, but could carve out a depth/special teams role if he can play with a bit more discipline. A couple more things that I want to tell you here about Craig Woodson before we log off and we ultimately get ready for the next live stream where we break down the New England Patriots next pick. Because, guys, like I alluded to earlier, we are breaking down every single New England Patriots pick, but we're doing them in their own live stream. Why? Because it's easier for you guys. It's a lot more work for me, but it's so much easier for you guys to be able to go back and have one individual video for each specific player. If you ever want to go back, look at the player, who is he, what does he bring, see my reaction on the pick. So obviously we're here for you guys. We're here to make things easier for you guys. So you guys can look forward to the next live stream in probably about 20 minutes or so. But like I said, a couple last things I want to let you know here about him. He was a 3-star recruit in the 2019 class. He started 40 games. In 2024, he was third team ACC. In 2023, he was fourth team All Pac-12. And then in 2022, he was honorable mention All Pac-12. So I think that this is a guy who has the potential to be a starter for this team. But I think at minimum what he's going to be is he's going to be someone who plays special teams, and he's going to be a bit of a more rotational guy. That safety room is pretty stacked for the Patriots. They got a lot of guys. They got a lot of guys that do similar things. I think that's what's going to separate Craig Woodson from, again, guys like Jabrill Peppers and Kyle Duggar. But like I said, that room is crowded. So someone's going to have to be on the outside looking in. It's going to be really interesting to see how that battle unfolds during the offseason and when training camp comes along. But this is where I kick it to you guys. What are your thoughts on the addition of Craig Woodson early on here in the 4th round? Do you guys like the selection? Are you a little bit hesitant about the selection? Let me know. And like Steven says here, guys, hit that like button, baby. Hit that like button, baby. One of the best ways to support the channel, it's completely free, is by simply subscribing to the channel, turning on the bell notification so that you get notified when I do go live or post a video. But of course, also liking the video goes a long way because it tells YouTube, hey, this channel is pretty good. This video is pretty good. We should put it out there into the YouTube algorithm. We should make sure that this video ranks higher for people to find because people are clearly liking it. So if you guys like the video, you like the channel, you want to help your boy out, succeed a little bit more, make sure to leave a big like on the video on your way out. We got a couple of super chats to get into before we head out. As I see Red Sox come say, Red Sox, you know I can never forget about the super chats. Super chats always get priority to any comment. If you want to make sure that your question, your comment, your concern gets thrown up there on the screen, donations are the best way to do so. Also consider becoming a channel member. But my boy SGT Moonshine, who I saw just became another Patreon member, which, by the way, we're going to have Patreon members on when we do. So my plan is to do a grades, like giving a grade to each selection and giving an overall grade to this Patriots draft class. We'll have Patreon members on at the end of that live stream. And then I also plan on doing a live stream where it's just a Q&A. It's just a live stream. It's just a Q&A. You guys come in. You ask me questions about the draft. You ask me questions about the direction on where the Patriots go from here. And I answer all questions you guys have. It's going to be a good time. And Patreon members will also be allowed to come in for that. But my boy SGT Moonshine, big $10 donation, says, I like this pick. Definitely could be the new Pats free safety. Could take over the Devin McCourty role given time. 100% agree with you, SGT Moonshine. I think he hit the nail on the absolute head there. That's what the hope is. Because like I said, the Patriots haven't had that free safety since Devin McCourty. And it's really bit this defense in the butt at times. It's made this defense wildly inconsistent. And I think Bill Belichick said this, best himself. He said, when you allow a splash play, right? And I'm not saying this verbatim, but he said, essentially, when you allow a splash play, even if it's one, that changed the entire trajectory of the game. That one missed tackle, that one blown coverage, instead of a punt, instead of a field goal, now you're allowing them to easily be set up for 7 points. And that could drastically change the game. Elf of Courage comes in here with a $10 donation. Elf, I don't think we've seen you here before, so welcome on in, Elf of Courage, man. Big $10 donation. We really appreciate you. You said, will head coach Mike Vrabel use the multi-positional hybrid players that Belichick used to do in the early 2000s? I definitely think so, right? And I think one of the best things about what the Patriots have in this secondary specifically, they have a lot of versatile players, but even more so about the secondary is that the Patriots have those versatile players. They have Duggar, who can play hybrid linebacker. He's going to play in the box. He can go up against tight ends. He can cover receiving running backs out of the backfield. He can play a little bit of free safety. And then you have somebody like, Jabrill Peppers, who can do that exact same thing. Now you have somebody in Woodson who can be a true free safety for you, the best free safety that's probably on this team currently, but he can also play in the box. He can play corner. He can play in the slot. So I think we're going to see these guys used in a lot of different ways. We're going to see these guys kind of used as jokers. And I think that's what's going to be really fun about what Mike Vrabel is going to be able to cook up here on the defensive side of the football, because one of the best ways to confuse defenses, even veteran quarterbacks, veteran offensive coordinators, is by showing them different looks. That's something that Bill Belichick was infamous for. Even when he was going up against Andy Reid, he was going up against Mahomes, he was going up against Peyton Manning, he would show them different looks. He would move, Devin McCourty from free safety to outside cornerback, giving them different looks, not knowing who's dropping where and who's covering who. And that made the Patriots defense a lot less predictable. And it kind of forced the quarterback to either throw the ball into a window that they didn't trust or to hold on to the ball for an extra second or two, which allowed the defensive line, that pass rush, to get to the quarterback a little bit more. So I think you hit the nail on the absolute head there, Elf. But guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's live stream, or I guess this live stream, on the Patriots drafting safety Craig Woodson here in the 4th round of the 2025 NFL Draft. What are you guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. Like I said, I'll see you guys in about 20 minutes. I got to get the edits up. I got to get the next stream ready, but I'll see you guys in about 20 minutes. So don't go anywhere to break down the next selection the New England Patriots have made in the 2025 NFL Draft. Make sure you guys check out the rest of the videos that we have made breaking down the selections the Patriots made in rounds 1 to 3. But until the next 20 minutes, I appreciate you guys for watching, and go Pats.